So we just finished a lovely session with Deb. Now let's review her stats. We're back here on the clients page, which we'll come back to in a moment. But you can see here, there's Deb on the right. You can tap on different clients, but we're going to take a look at Deb in the session we just had. And you can see her little overview right here, her work in progress, her favorites, her goals. But let's take a deeper look. So we would just tap on Deb and slide it over. It's a very simple and easy intuitive little move. Now we're into Deb's deeper profile, and we get to look at what she did today. All of these stats are derived automatically from the app and its proprietary algorithm. So let's take a look. Deb today did 28 exercises, 28 of the 561 that are in the app. You can also always look at your stats and breaking it down by different denominators, so from day, week, to month, to year. Now, let's slide on down the exercises that she did today. They were mainly beginner with some intermediate, as we knew. The apparatus used, it broke down that we did 15 mat exercises, 9 reformer exercises, and 4 step barrel exercises. The starting position, we only did 1 prone exercise. As we said, her back wasn't feeling so great, with a majority of supine, some side lying, and some seated exercises. No kneeling or standing. Planes of motion, we can look at it a little deeper from planes of motion from the torso, to planes of motion to the pelvis, planes of motion for the hip, planes of motion for the feet, planes of motion for the arms, whatever we want to talk a little bit more about. And then we get into joint mobilization versus stabilization. Again, relatively small numbers. It was just for one day, and it was a focused session. Continuing on to the muscle groups. You can toggle back and forth between activated and elongated, and then tap on the different body parts to see. So, activated torso muscles, we did 15 exercises with the rectus abdominis, 6 exercises with the obliques, 16 exercises with the transverse abdominis, and 15 exercises activating the psoas. And again, you can continue on to different body parts and toggle between elongated and activated. Again, these are all visual talking points at the end of your session to review that which your client has accomplished. And then breaking it down into balance exercises and bilateral exercises. So she did 6 balance exercises and 9 bilateral exercises. So a lot of information. Well done, Deb. And any of this can be broken down and sent to her as a PDF. So you tap that little button up at the right, and you can send it to her in any format you like, whether it's a text message, an email, or even print it there. You can do it ever which way you would like to share her progress with her. It's that easy, just one tap. The way I like to think about it is my clients are still learning about Pilates and thinking about their movements well after they've left the studio. When they're walking into the car, they're still geeking out about Pilates, and that's a positive thing. So Deb, like we said, is a beginner student. Let's take a look at an advanced student and see someone who's built up their stats over time. We're going to slide out of Deb, and we're going to move. Let's go take a look at Eric Sipple. We've been working together for a long time, and he and I have been using this app together for some time as well. So you can see that he is an advanced student. You can see his work in progress as well as his favorites. Let's slide it on over. Eric did not have a session today, so you can see zeros everywhere. But let's tap and move it on up to Eric's all-time stats. Look at that. Eric knows 425 exercises out of the 561 in this app. You can see how it's built up. His performances by level have built up. How his repertoire has broken down through apparatus. 90 different mat exercises, 99 reformer exercises, and so forth. You look at the starting positions that he's explored in his Pilates training. And planes of motion. Again, you're going through the number of exercises. You see in the finer numbers down there of the flexion exercises in this Pilates method. He's done 164 out of 208. 77 of the 95 extension exercises. There's these different categories through which people appreciate and explore the movement that they're doing in Pilates. You can break it down by the pelvis, by the hip, just as we did before, but you see how all of these meters are rising and rising. And these types of breakthroughs, these types of goal setting, this type of finding a way to quantify and demonstrate a ability over time. It's very exciting for the clients, I can tell you. We get into joint mobilization versus stabilization. And then moving forward into muscle groups, again, all of these numbers are stacking up to be quite large. And these are a point of pride amongst clients over time when they're exceeding these larger numbers, that they know here we are with muscle groups activated, that Eric knows 155 different Pilates exercises where his rectus abdominis is engaged. And then, of course, going on to the balance exercises and bilateral exercises. Now, let's get further into the stats page, which we didn't do with Deb. But you see here at the very top, you see stats, and then you see that next button, repertoire. Let's tap on that. The repertoire page is a lot of fun because it's just the overall how many exercises does Eric know. And it lists the names of the exercises, when that exercise was debuted, how many times it's been performed, and when was the last time it was seen. This is very fun for the client because they get to see just, when have they got to 50 exercises? When do they know 100 exercises? They'll say, oh man, I've been working on open leg rocker for 6 months. And you can say, actually, you've been working on it for 7.5 months. Just how many times they've performed the teaser, right? If you've done 100 teasers in the studio, that's reason for celebration. Also interesting here is the last seen button you see right across there. You can tap on that and actually flip the list. So for me as an instructor, Eric's coming in this week and I can flip and tap that and be like, oh, wow, reverse laybacks and hamstring stretches on the chair. We haven't done that in quite some time, so let's put the chair at the top of the list of exercises, and those exercises in particular, for us to do today. And of course, this repertoire list, just like all pertinent information, can be shared. So if Eric is going to New York for the weekend, leaving California, and wants to go do some Pilates, I can share his repertoire list with the instructor that he's going to see, and Eric can walk in there knowing that he's going to be able to pick up right where he left off, that the instructor is going to know what he's been working on, what his sequences have been, which routines he's liked, and where he is as a student, without missing a beat. So we've looked at his stats, we've looked at his repertoire, and then we can go to sessions. And this is just this is just all the sessions that he's had, and for any single one, we can go back to January 5th right there and tap on it, and it pulls up the exercise, the routine that he did that session. And, it's building his portfolio of work. And then there's the profile button. I'm not going to hit the profile button because it contains his personal information. So we're going to skip over that and come back to how to create a new profile in just a moment. And so we'll go right over to notes. Unfortunately, most instructors, myself included, resort to sticky pads and Post-it notes to accumulate information about their clients, and that's just not an effective way to keep a log of what your clients likes and dislikes and what's going on with their body. So, of course, we have a notes section in here. You just tap on Add Notes. You type in what it is what your findings were, what your observation is, and of course, it keeps it organized in chronological order. So, as you can see, there is a wealth of information, both for motivation, for encouragement, as well as education for the instructor themselves to make sure that they're providing the client with the most robust education possible. Let's continue on to the client list and creating a new client.